I have known Duma and Jordy since they were little grums, and I have watched them and witnessed their growth and maturing into great young men and incredible surfers, and also consider them very close friends. Duma is actually like another son to me. He recently invited me to hang at his house in Venice and also to attend the inaugural WSL Surf Ranch event in Lemoore, California. While we were there, I once again witnessed the amazing friendship and bond that Jordy and Duma have, and thought it would be a good idea to talk to them about it. So I cornered them in Jordy's hotel, and this was the result. I do hope you find this as interesting as I do, because it is pretty unique. Hold that up. All right, I'm sitting here in the Tai Chi Palace in the middle of nowhere. It's California's version of Pofada. And I'm sitting with Duma and Jordy in Jordy's hotel and at the Surf Ranch Pro. Unfortunately, Jordy is the victim of the worst judging rip-off ever.
In the history of the sport.
In the history of the sport. Anyway, he seems quite happy. He doesn't let him phase it. And what we're trying to do here is, I've known both these lighties forever, and the similarity between the two of them, they both 6'3", what are you guys, 6'3"?
6'3",
yeah.
6'3", they're both natural footers. The one's from Cape Town, the other's from Durban. When did you guys actually start competing? How old were you guys when you saw each other in the water in a heat or in a competition?
It was, if my memory is right, I think it was 95.
Vic Bay 95.
So how old were you then?
State champs. Jordy was six. Yeah, you had just turned 7,
yeah.
And I just turned 9.
So were you competing in different divisions, or?
So that year he was. So we've always been a division apart, but Jordy's always stepped a division up. So we always competed on that level. But basically, George and I, we didn't place that year, was huge and was onshore. But the next year, the SA Champs 96 was in Durban, and George won the under 8s and I won the under 10s.
Yeah.
I heard it.
I just remember this, I was pretty intimidated actually. I just saw this blonde-haired kid, and he was sponsored by Hot Button, and he had this HBO on there, and he was like this charger guy. And he was also good looking, which he still is, which sucks. But anyway, all the girls loved him. Anyways, yeah, like you said, Vic Bay that first year was massive. Terence Kruger was like trying to get me out through this like tidal pool area. And I just remember Duma was like the only guy that go to the back line. And that just to me was like, well, why am I even doing the surfing thing? Because this guy's out the back. I can't even make it past the shore.
These guys are all serving the foamies, I serve in the back, but I couldn't turn, these guys could all turn. So I had to
you can't turn on foamies though, bro, you just head one way.
But these guys could all surf, I couldn't surf, I could just charge. So I had one or the other.
And when was the first time you actually competed against each other?
Probably that next year, so after that under 10, they started doing the Billabong Junior Series where they had like under 12, under 14, under 16. And then we were surfing under 12 a lot because he was surfing, there wasn't even under 10 for me and there wasn't under 8 for him. So we started surfing a lot then. But I remember George, we were in St. Francis, I think might have been the first time. And he had 2 custom boards. Now I was still riding like second-hand boards, hand-me-downs. I never had a new custom route. And he had 2 customs. I can still remember the spray, these like kind of Galaxy-style sprays, and then with the round noses, he had the gotcha.
Yeah.
He had 2 of the exact same ones. Then one, he had 2 customs of the exact same one. And I was just like, oh man, he's so lucky. But G-Force gave me my first board. He gave me Nirvana.
Really?
When he was doing Nirvana, yeah, after SA Champs. And George, I remember, he was, I don't remember much from back then. I can remember being huge and like small things, but I can remember him saying to me, yo, bro, don't worry, my dad will sponsor you. Like, because we were talking about everyone's sponsorships, and do you see Ricky, he was sponsored by Billabong, and he wasn't sponsored yet, I don't think so.
No, I don't think that yet.
And he was like, don't worry, bro, my dad will sponsor you. And Nirvana was so cool back then.
Yeah, that's a trip that it's gone that far back. Another memory, I reckon.
Let me just stop this now.
Okay. Yeah, another memory probably is when we had already kind of been friends for a while at this point. But I remember I was about 12 years old, I think, and it was my first time going to Hawaii. And Duma had been there, I think, for possibly like a month or so before, or maybe a couple of weeks or so before. And I never really surfed bigger waves outside of like probably Nahoon Reef or something like that, you know. And then I went there, and I just remember I showed up super late at the airport that night, and I remember arriving, and Duma's like, bro, don't even worry about unpacking any small boards. Sunset's going to be 12 foot tomorrow, and I was just shitting myself. Couldn't believe it. And this guy's like waxing up these 7-something boards, and I'm screaming, are you joking? The biggest board I brought you is like a 6'9". I'm like 12 years old. Anyway, the next morning I see it, I just remember him charging.
He was so competitive, he would like never let... He wasn't like about to let me go out and he's going to go sit down at Valseyland.
Yeah, which even though I definitely wanted to.
Yeah.
So how competitive was the friendship? I mean, the first time you surfed against each other, who won?
You know...
He always beat me.
Really?
I think the statistic is still... I think he hammered me almost... If we surfed against each other, say 30 times, I reckon I probably only got like 8 wins. So
now,
yeah.
I remember, you know, because I'm a bully, Duma got a zigzag cover before you.
He probably got about 3 before me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had about
And how did that make you feel?
Honestly. I was like, well, I don't know what I got to do. I've won with the comps, so now I don't know how to get in front of a camera and get a shot.
You know who it was? It was Jordy. Jordy was a Cape Town guy.
Yeah, F you, Jordy.
Jordy just put me on the cover, and then Alan was shooting. Alan and Geset, so we were just getting all shots. And you must remember, my surfing skill had like plateaued at like 15 or 16. Jordy was still on the rise, so I was like, what can I do? I can get photos. So it was kind of the introduction of being a free surfer. And I kind of made up for my poor performances with free surfing with all good photos.
And he was just getting the sick battle shots. I never knew Crons could deliver such good shots in my life.
Yeah, closeout made me a lot of money. Well, back then. But he did now and then, but it was never like to the point where we weren't friends. I think him and I were going through pretty similar stuff, and we were younger. Like he was coming up and winning everything, and like he was like beating the older guys and that. So he was getting like a little bit, I think when you're kids and that, you get a little bit like pushed to the side. And, you know, he's always had a bit of a F you attitude. He's not apologizing or stepping down to anyone. It's why he's become such a good surfer. But in Cape Town, I was going through the similar thing, and I was kind of winning stuff and winning division up. So we're both, in a sense, outcasts, I think, from like our little surf community or to the guys that we thought were cool. So we went through that a lot, like I think together. So I would always come up and stay in Durban with him, and Graham and my dad were always good friends from back in the day. So we had that a lot. We had that in common. So when we always hung out, it was like always real easy. And still to this day, like we won't speak for 6 months, or we speak a lot now. But if we don't see each other for a few weeks or a few months, we see each other. It's like we saw each other the day before.
But you guys both had the same sponsor, and
yeah.
you both were competing each other. Was the sponsor thing ever any point of competitiveness? Or?
Absolutely,
big time. That's right. The only reason I got to where my ability where it topped out was because of Jordy. And
I think it was like as bad as it might have seemed, it was probably beneficial for us at the time. You know, like just because we were basically fighting for whoever did better, whether it was with photos, results, performances, video, whatever it was to try and be the best. And it was myself, Doom, Ricky, Wok, then younger than us, Chad, and then just above us there was like Lloyd and Davey, you know. So when everyone was Billabong, and so you kind of had to have this like, unless you're performing at the highest level and you're beating everybody, you're going to be at the back of the pile and you ain't getting a good contract. And that to us was like, well, you got to step on everybody's heads to get ahead. And so luckily for myself and Duma, and I don't think for any of the other guys, we never really let our friendship get in the way of that. It was always just super competitive in the water, and you kind of knew that in the back of your mind, but just I think once you got to land, it was kind of like help each other out wherever you can as well.
You know, what I think is amazing, and I really do, is the friendship that you have. You know, I was the priest at Duma's wedding,
yeah.
And I heard your speech, you know, and at my age, I've been to a lot of weddings,
yeah.
and your speech was full of love, like genuine love, and
yeah.
it was amazing. I mean, you were both best men at each other's weddings, and now you're both living in America, and Duma's working for you, and you're still tight. I mean, I saw you guys this weekend at the ranch here. It's incredible. Now, has living in America, I mean, people go, well, how does actually living in America? Do they miss South Africa, or what are they doing? But you guys tend to talk to each other nearly every day.
Yeah, I think talk to each other about business, and then also whatever else we're interested in at the time. The biggest thing we talk about is how shit the waves are in the USA.
Yeah.
That's probably much.
We always miss home. I mean, as far as the waves go and some of the friends back home, you're always going to miss that. But as far as our opportunities, and I mean, we're just blessed that we're both here, both kind of living our best life, basically.
Absolutely.
Doing the best we can with what we have and what we need to do right now. And yeah, I think just having each other to bounce ideas off all the time and be so close, it definitely makes it easier being on the side.
Because like Dim is your agent or manager.
Yeah,
I don't know what his title is. So you obviously trust whatever he says 100%.
Absolutely, yeah. There's not a thing that I'm going to doubt when he says, "Hey, this is how it is, and it's real." And it's not only it's on a management side or business side, but as a best friend as well. There's no one that can tell you straighter and be more honest. And I think that's the best thing about having a good friendship is the honesty. And when you can be really open and yeah, to somebody, I think that just really allows for everybody to do their best work and to be their best person.
Yeah, I think George's done a good job at treating business and friendship differently. You know, both of us have done that. Like, he'd be like, "Hey, bro, we need to talk about this. Like, something's not working." We've had a few awkward conversations, and cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's business. At the end of the day, he's a world-class athlete, and he's at the top of his thing and his earnings, and he's got the next 10 years in his career to make as much money as possible. So if something's not working, we need to adjust it and we run accordingly. So every now and then it's an awkward conversation, but we get it done and kind of move on for the better.
That's right. Okay, go.
So I remember this one time we were surfing New Piano. At a stage I'd already moved to Durban, and me and Jacko and Josh, and we were all still competing with Jordy and beating him and that, but like in the back of our minds we kind of knew that like this is like 15, 16, that this guy was like about to skyrocket, but we were still beating, so it was slightly delusional, I think, all of us. And I got out of the water one session, and Bruce Jackson said to me, I can remember because I was so angry afterwards, "Once Jordy realizes how good he is, you guys are all doomed." Like in some kind of in some different words to that, but that was he alluded to. And I was just like, how can you say that? You have a kid that's competing with him and that, and I was so defeated. But at that stage I knew it's game over for the rest of us. This guy's gonna go on.
Wish you had told me that.
Yeah. He told you you're bogging.
Yeah.
Now, Dimmer, do you ever regret not carrying on with the tour? Because I've seen you the way you surf now, I think you could beat half the guys on the tour.
He's coming back. 2020 Olympics, bro. Watch out. J&D, we're coming.
I do a little bit. I miss competing. You know, it's funny, when I stopped competing, I started enjoying it more because I still did a few contests. And then I still get super competitive when I surf, and other than being a bit out of shape here and there. I don't know. What I like now is they have the priority in the QSs. So that's kind of like a lot of times with Lou's needing a 9, and I think, you know, so that he kind of made bad waves good. He turned bad waves into good scores, which I didn't have that ability to do. So I needed the good waves and then get Hasselblad Brazilians in that, where now I could actually maybe have a chance.
What's today? Sunday. On Friday when you surfed and you got seriously ripped off on that 727, how did you feel when you heard the score, and how did you feel when you heard his score?
I don't know, I just felt confused. More than anything, I just felt confused. I wasn't really sure about what they wanted. Like, they said they wanted to see kind of risk and like variety and all these types of things, and then I felt like I did it on the wave and they never kind of got rewarded. So I just was very confused, and then hence I kind of went for it on my next couple waves, and fell. But at that stage, I just wasn't sure of what they really wanted to see from me. Like, me trying to fit into a 1 to 2 foot barrel is really not that exciting, and it's not that risky either. So, yeah, like I said, I just felt confused. I was pretty bummed, but at the end of the day, it's just not my call. And you live and die by the sword. It's the reason we chose this sport, and you just got to accept things like this, I guess.
And how did you feel, Dimmer?
I was pretty frustrated. I was just like, fuck, man, how much more does this guy have to do? He does a reverse on a wave, like a functional reverse, a bunch of maneuvers, because after watching all day, all the waves are kind of, everything in between what the guys are doing blends into the same thing. Everyone's doing nice backside snaps. You know, the top 10 is clearly different, how their turns. But everyone's just doing nice backside snaps, flowing, and then there's kind of 2 instances of the wave where already stand out, and he did that reverse, and it wasn't the biggest reverse, but it was functional. He went down the line, so I thought it would score, and then he did rodeo. It's probably only been like 6 or 7, maybe, rodeos done in competition history. So when a guy gets one, he should be rewarded extremely high. especially on like the final maneuver Paggi had done on the day before, because no one else can do it. You know, Gabriel does a little corrupt flip and gets a 9. And if corrupt flip's just an alley-oop, double grab alley-oop versus anyway. So I was a bit annoyed, and then I kind of had this feeling that he was going to keep going bigger because he had to. Like, what more must the guy do? So it was a bit frustrating, a bit underwhelming, the judges. But
I asked a couple of guys to send me a question, and the one guy said, Jordy, does Duma actually do any work for you?
Yeah, he actually does. To be honest, he does a lot more than people would think. I know, and I'm sure there's people at home that just think he doesn't. He gets a free
on the gravy train.
But he does. Honestly, he does. Deals with a lot of stuff that I don't have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I can just go surf.
You know, like yesterday's a good example, and it's testament to working with Jordy. He comes out of the water. He tore the bag out of his 2 waves, his 2 opportunities yesterday. The judges had openly told him that he got a smaller wave than everybody else. William Cardoso got a resurf, and then they're telling me he can't have a resurf because it's going to make the day go too long. Like, anyway, and so he's obviously clearly frustrated. He now knows he's lost. He's out of the top 8. He's been pushed down. And I'm like, dude, you got a signing in 5 minutes with Jeep. And a lot of guys, like, a lot of the pro surfers would have been like, I'm not doing it. And they probably could have got away with doing it. But he put a smile on his face, went and stand in the sun for an hour, and did a signing and interview and a big thing for Jeep.
Yeah, that was one of the things I've been very impressed with just watching Jordy, his maturity, his professionalism, and how he deals with fans. I mean, there was one lady in the casino last night came up and said, you're my best surfer on the tour, and to deal with that stuff when you're trying to get a table at a restaurant or you're trying to do something, I mean, you handle it. I was seriously impressed, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now, one question, we don't want to make this too long, but you both here live in America, you're both married, you're both sort of involved in the industry to degrees. What's a 5-year plan for both of you?
Well, for me, and hopefully for Doom, I want to have him by my side probably for the next 5 years. And just try my best, obviously win a world title and surf and be happy with what I'm putting out there. You know, you can always be happy. I think at the end of the day, it's not really about the results, more about the regrets. And so just trying my best and putting in my best effort and having my best mate, my manager, right by my side, along with his wife, Christina, and my wife, Lyndall, just supporting me and what I do, and then me as a friend supporting him in any other avenues that he wants to go down. And just seeing him be successful and happy, period.
Yeah, I think the same. And I think if, as on the working on the professional front, at the end of Jordan's career, if I know I've helped him set him up to a point where he's never has to work again, and you must remember this, I'm getting the credit here, there's a lot of other people behind. There's his mom who does, you don't even understand how much Lou does, from the accountant, she watches every cent. I know he gets frustrated, but he knows there's no better person who watches funds and his accountant. She's pretty much a chartered accountant, self-taught. You can see her filing, her system is out of this world. Is Dalton. There's all these people in the background that do a lot. So I'm just at the face of it all, So
well, it's more than that. It's the friendship and the loyalty that you can't buy loyalty.
No, for sure. But at the end of his career, if he's set up and never has to work again, he's got his dream house and got what he deserves for.
But what's your 5-year plan?
Mine is to keep working with Jordy. Don't want to take on anyone really else. I've got Mikey that we're working with a little bit now, helping out, and Jordy's been helping him a lot this year with advice and that. And just focusing on the things that are in front of me and our friendship. And I think we're going to have at the end of his career, we'll have a great, whether we have kids and stuff, we'll always live close together. So we're going to have a great, long-term life and with our kids and wives growing up. And it might be in Hawaii, it might be California. Who knows where we end up.
Talking about kids, I look at you two and I'm thinking right now, one day when you guys have got Groms, they're going to be so competitive. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the Jordy Duma show again.
Yeah, I'll probably have girls. So I don't know.
I'm going to have a boy that can poke his girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, and is there anything you guys want to say? Because this is about this is. For me, really interesting. I'd much rather listen to this stuff than...
I would probably just say, thanks for 26 years of friendship.
Yeah, that's it, man.
26 years?
Yeah,
that's it.
Jeez.
And I'm really fortunate to be able to work with my best friend and have a great relationship and surf, and he still keeps me competitive, even though every time I go surfing with him, I'm maybe I'm still got it, and then I surf with him, I'm just...
Do you ever steal any of his boards?
they're just too thick. I steal them and sell them.
Wait till he gets a dad bod, then he'll be working.
Another year or two. No, but a year ago, George was like, hey, you look a little chunky, you need to lose a bit of weight. So I got a bit self-conscious and laid off the beers.
All right, boys. George, good luck in Portugal. And thanks very much for doing this. I know it's a busy guys.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks,
enjoy the shit drive out of Portugal.
I know.
Save our spot in the lineup at the new pier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ever forget that.
All right.